Wonder Diamond, South India's largest lab-grown diamond brand, stores at Chennai, Coimbatore, Bangalore and Hyderabad.
Hello and welcome to Galata Plus. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Madhukoti Xavier's Mili, which is a remake of his Helen. The film stars Janhvi Kapoor and Manoj Pahwa. Now, this is one of those films that at one level seems like a survival thriller. You know, the protagonist gets trapped in a situation or in a particular location and they have to use their wits and get out of that. Now, the way Mili, that is the Janhvi Kapoor character, gets trapped here is in the freezer of the fast food restaurant that she works in. And this forms the second layer of the story because Mili, her dream is to go to Canada, which is a really cold place. And that would mean leaving her father, played by Manoj Pahwa, alone and being by herself. And through this experience in the freezer, she gets a mini demonstration of that saying that be careful what you wish for because the universe might grant it to you. So Mini wants to go away from her father and be in this cold place, and that's exactly what ends up happening. So Mili, which is a remake of Helen, again Madhukoti Xavier directed that, it's not exactly just that survival thriller. That is certainly part of the movie, but it is not just that. This is the story of a young woman, where she starts and where she ends up. The ordeal in the freezer unit may be the biggest one, but before that, this character has faced several little ordeals of various kinds. For instance, her mother's no longer there. She faces a father who just won't stop smoking, and that's a big source of anxiety for her. But the nice thing is, all of this is treated with a wink and a smile, mainly due to the dialogues, which are very flavorful and have the flavor of banter. And slowly, Mili's ordeals escalate. Her manager just won't stop mocking her or giving her a hard time. And then she gets caught with her boyfriend on a bike when he's not wearing a helmet, and this is a misogynistic cop and he gives her a worse time. So the film's lighting scheme, the film's character arcs all go from warm to cold, just like the progression of the film's story itself. And this sprightliness is shown in Rahman's song Main Hi Main Hoon, which is actually the perfect bubblegummy kind of song for a woman of Mili's age. But while she accuses her father of smoking behind her back, she's also been doing something behind his back, which is seeing this man called Samir. Samir is played by Kaushal, and this relationship leads to another ordeal that ends up in a police station, and another ordeal when Mili's father stops talking to her. So the screenplay is built like a series of mishaps, with the biggest mishap of all being the fact that happens at the end, which is that she gets trapped in a freezer. Despite being Mili's story, the screenplay, which is absolutely wonderful, is generous to everybody. Take the misogynistic cop. He is a man whose only source of self-esteem comes from the fact that he's powerful, and he wields that power on people who are weaker than him. And when that power is snatched away from him by a superior cop, he ends up turning very vicious. Take Mili's boss. His attitude at work has to do with his personal situation, something he's facing at home. Or take Samir. He gets a mini DDLJ kind of arc where he has to prove his worth to Mili's father. Or take how Mili is discovered. It is with the help of a man who, like Mili, is in an enclosed space, locked up in an enclosed space. Even a cigarette lighter gets a bit of a character trajectory, and the best touch of all, my favorite touch, is the title of the movie Mili, which is like Mil Gayi, as in found. You know, this girl has been found, Mili, and that's something that's really nice. There are so many layers in the screenplay and the writing. For example, we don't really need the scene where the father gets impatient early on and he's honking on a scooter in order to drop Mili at her workplace, but this nature of the father becomes important later when Mili goes missing, because at that point is when we realize that he is an impatient man and he wants to find his missing daughter at once. Now let's look at another aspect of this character. Now he finds about Mili and Samir in the worst possible way, and then he starts giving Mili the cold shoulder, if you will. He starts giving her the silent treatment. So it's not just the father's panic that comes into play when Mili goes missing, but it's also his guilt about the fact that he's been doing this to his daughter. Now Manoj Pahwa is a terrific actor, but when the writing gives you so much to chew on, the performance becomes only better, and the same can be said of Janhvi Kapoor. Janhvi Kapoor is terrific, and she does some solid physical acting, and again the writing helps the performance so much. Now look at the scene where her father discovers about her and Samir. She doesn't burst into hysterics. There's no, "Papa, please don't stop talking to me," nothing of that sort. She is silent, she lowers her eyes, she's feeling guilty. At the same time, the character is strong. She doesn't let herself break down, and that characteristic is something that helps her greatly when she gets trapped in the freezer. There is shame, yes, but there is also strength, and this strength is what helps her get through all her various ordeals. And look at how the echoes happen throughout the movie. At the very first, when we meet Samir, we see him as somebody who will seek out Mili even if she doesn't return his calls. And this aspect plays out later because when Mili won't return his calls, he makes a decision that will help the second part of the movie. While watching the movie, I felt the same way that I did while watching Helen, which is that maybe Milli's escape attempts could have used a little more ingenuity, like there is no wow factor. But after I walked out of the theatre, I thought that this lack of wow factor is exactly what is needed because this is very natural. The way she handles the situation is very natural. This is not some nail-biting, tense thriller. It's more about a girl and the predicament that she finds herself in the sense that it is not about a thrilling escape or a tense escape. It is more about her growth graph, her character graph. In the broader sense, Mili is, yes, a survival drama, a survival thriller, but dig deeper and you'll realize that it's really a terrific character study. And that's it for this review. If you like this review, do subscribe to Galata Plus and see you soon at the movies.
Wonder Diamonds, South India's largest lab-grown diamond brand, stores at Chennai, Coimbatore, Bangalore and Hyderabad.